Good morning, YouTube. Hopefully you are all
doing well as always. My raspberries are currently in here defrosting, and I am a happy and excited boy. Not only because the mini cut is done, thankfully, so I no longer have to feel hungry and a little bit miserable and lethargic on some days, but also because there's just 3 working days left, and then I'm going to be in Valencia. But in today's video, this is only a short little intro, let me pick you up. My plan is for this video to actually go over a few days. So today I'm going to update you with how Project Poolside and how my 4-week mini cut went. And I'm also going to be showing you how I'm going to be carbing up for the next few days, with the idea that on the 3rd day, so on the Wednesday, we will see how I'm looking prior to holiday with a little bit more carbs, because I feel very flat at the moment. But Erin and I are going to eat our first meal together, our breakfast together, go for a walk, go and get some food, and then I will explain exactly why I've got what I've got when I'm back. Hi guys, finished the walk and Esdog is here.
Hi guys, welcome.
She got a new suitcase.
New suitcase because they broke mine in Punta Cana.
Bang out of order. But also we have, every single time we go for a walk we end up in boots somehow. But I've got my food here for the next few days. The aim of the game really is going to be to carb up a little bit. Now, it's worth noting that because I'm not like mega lean, this isn't going to make some drastic changes, but the main aim really is I'm training legs today, pull tomorrow, and push on the Wednesday. And I effectively want to just try and get as big a like pump as possible and get...
I'm training legs today.
She's also training legs with me. The aim of the game is to try and get like a nice pump and feel a little bit more full. So that's what I'm going to be having food-wise. And I will take you upstairs and show you exactly what I've been up to for the last 4 weeks. On to the moment that you've all been waiting for. Just made my fucking camera all dirty. So on screen now is going to be the Project Poolside tracking sheet. So this is what I've used for the entire 4 weeks. And as you can see, progress-wise, I have gone from 77.8 kilos to 73.8 kilos on average. So an average loss of 4 kilos over the 4 weeks. So basically a kilo a week, which for my body weight is actually really solid, because that would work out to be like 1.5%. And generally you want to be losing anywhere between sort of like 0.5% to 1% of your body weight per week. But part of the reason for that extra loss is due to the fact that I've been going a little bit more aggressive. And whilst the weight side of thing is all well and good, the main thing really that I'm paying attention to is the difference in my measurements. So my chest, thankfully, has stayed the same size, whereas my waist and my hips have both decreased by around about sort of like what, 7-8 centimeters roughly. Which is really solid, because when you consider that my chest has stayed the same size despite me feeling flatter, with my waist and my hips being slimmer, it then sort of gives the impression that maybe your chest is a little bit bigger than if you were sort of like holding more fat there. Last week certainly was a lot more of a struggle, like hunger wise and stuff like that. I found that I really increased my activity last week, but like steps wise, and it also just made me hungrier. So also, like, even though I did more activity, the fact that I ate more probably offset that. In terms of how I'm looking, I will show you what I looked like at the start in comparison to what I look like now. And obviously there's only around about sort of 4 kilos difference here, so the difference isn't crazy, but it needs to be bared in mind that that's only like a 4-week difference. And if I was to continue dieting for more, like a longer period of time, obviously the differences will be becoming more and more visible as I go through. Again, I use the exact same process that you can access for free by jumping on Project Poolside on my Instagram, where I coach you for free, set you up, and it is genuinely exactly what I used to lose 4 kilos in 4 weeks and like over 7-8 centimeters off my waist. And with the progress review done, for the rest of this video, I am going to be showing you exactly what I'm going to be doing to try and increase fullness as much as possible and look as good as possible for going away. So I will catch you shortly. Hello. It is the next day. Erin has gone home. We did lunch with each other yesterday. We also trained with each other. And now it is, as I say, the next day, day 2 of carbing up. Yesterday, I had 340 grams worth of carbs. I also had like a nice steak dinner for lunch with Ez. My protein was nice and high yesterday, higher than it needed to be, because basically when you're dieting, you want your protein to be higher to try and reserve as much lean body mass as possible, so as much muscle. And then when you're sort of eating more food, you can actually get away with having a little bit lower protein, because like carbohydrates and things like that, like other food sources, have protein within them. However, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what I'm actually eating today to carb up on the screen with macros and everything like that. And I just wanted to talk about something whilst you're going to see these meals within here. But at the moment in the fitness industry and just the coaching space, firstly, it just seems like anyone that's like ever gone to the gym is a coach all of a sudden, which I think is just ridiculous. It should be someone that's like passionate and has actually like years of experience of going to the gym and actually brings something beneficial. A lot of them basically have like an agenda and try and make something seem easier than it is to solve the pain point of the person that struggles with that. So for example, let's say that you love chocolate bars, but you're fatter than you want to be. They'll be like, right, you can lose fat while still eating chocolate bars, which is just fucking ridiculous because they're probably the reason that you are fat in the first place. There's also others that say all sorts, like genuinely, there's just so much nonsense sort of said online just to try and get people to buy from people. And I just think it's wrong. But one thing that people say is like consistently, they say the reverse diet is harder than the actual diet itself. And I was thinking to myself, like, people say things, as I say, people say things obviously to make it seem harder so that they can then sell you into something. But the reverse diet genuinely is harder than the diet itself, because it's a case that like your body, obviously you've been mildly starving yourself for weeks and weeks on end. Your body is almost there like, right, now that food is readily available and I know that like psychologically I can eat more, I'm gonna fucking eat more. And it just like seems like your hunger hormone just increases like tenfold. Yesterday I was so hungry. It's like almost your body's like natural way of just being like, right, now that we're no longer dieting, it's like almost survival, like just try and get as much food in as possible. But you've almost got to sort of like resist that, be really tactical on how you're going to sort of be increasing your food over time. But it is genuinely really hard because it requires discipline. It also requires really sort of like going against those hunger hormones, which is obviously just like a natural thing. But if you don't, what will happen is you'll end up eating all the things that you've been missing out on, because inevitably you've been missing out on them. You're hungrier and you can very easily put weight on quite quickly and just undo all of the progress that you've seen if it's a case that you don't continue like with your activity as it was and continue like eating the same way with the same sort of structure and stuff like that, but just having like snacks in here and there and like the things that you like to eat here and there. So it's very, very important that once you finish your diet, you keep the same rough eating structure, only slightly sort of increase your food. And then like with your activity, you want to make sure that that's not going sort of too low all of a sudden. Try and keep your activity as it was, just increase the food, and then you can sort of taper things as and when you need. Morning YouTube, it's now day 3 and this is how I am looking this morning. Now obviously I see myself all the time, but I can tell, so what I'm looking at is sort of like my bicep there and my chest here, and it just feels so much fuller. I had about 450 grams of carbs yesterday, literally didn't touch the side. I probably could have eaten another double. I was just so hungry, but still stayed to around about sort of like 3,000 calories. So probably still in a bit of a deficit considering I was dieting on 2,200, losing about a kilo. So my maintenance should be around about sort of 3,200. But let me show you how I'm looking, just relaxed. So I feel as though the angle will probably be a little bit hard to tell, but I just certainly feel fuller within my chest, just a little bit better overall. Also one thing as well that's good is I've eaten much more carbs, but like no bloating whatsoever. I've been keeping vegging with pretty much every meal, and I've been having more food, and like I've just been able to handle it perfectly without sort of bloating too much. I am definitely a little bit, my abs are like less visible than they were, but that's just sort of inevitable. Now unfortunately the plan of action of this video has sort of gone to shit a little bit due to the fact that I've woken up this morning, and I'm not sure how easily you're going to see this, but like if I put this arm forward, so I can feel real tightness within my back here, whereas like you can't see due to the fact that like the angle of it. Basically, I mean, I had a bit of an angle there, but I can get this hand significantly further forward than this arm just due to the fact that this was really tight in here. So considering I'm going on holiday tomorrow, the last thing I want to do is fuck it up. So basically no gym today, no training. The plan of action food wise is going to be to continue to carb up. I'm going to have my same breakfast. I'm going to have what I have for dinner for lunch. And then later on I'm having Nando's, where, seems as you asked, the order is going to be 4 fries, peri salted chips, garlic bread. Absolutely goated. I get a medium because I think any hotter will probably be too hot. Might push the boat out and go for hot. I'm a bit better at handling spice, but I don't want to mess it up, so probably medium. And I don't normally get the refillable soft drinks because I feel like they con you, so I'm a bit cheap and go and get water, but the water's, I mean, nicer probably anyway. That is the plan of action, but right now I will show you how I'm looking, or was looking yesterday on the screen. So I went and trained, and I actually trained chest yesterday due to the fact of my back feeling a little bit tight, and I was really happy with how things were looking overall. Like definitely looked fuller already from my chest and just everywhere in general. My back, like when I was looking at my lower back, I noticed that I've still got like a little bit of fat there, and that just shows you and really highlights that like even though I didn't really start in a position that I was really like that fat, started at sort of like around about 78 kilos, got down to below 74, I lost 4 kilos when I'm not really holding on to that much body fat. So when you have more body fat to lose, it's obviously going to take longer and longer to see those visual differences. But as I say, certainly more happy for going to Valencia, really excited for going as well. Genuinely really looking forward to it. I'm anticipating my diet when I'm there is probably not going to be the best, but I've tactically like ate more food so that I feel less hungry for it and I'm less likely to binge. I am planning on having a few cervezas and also a kebab or 2 as well, especially after a night out, just because that's top quality. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and remember you can jump on Project Poolside, the exact plan that I used to drop 4 kilos, well over 4 kilos in 4 weeks, by heading to the link both in the description and also on my Instagram as well. Free coaching, you're not going to be pressured into a sales call or anything like that at the end. Genuinely just complete value because I just want to help as many people as possible. So jump on it before it goes. Hopefully you enjoyed. Adios, hasta luego, and maybe you'll get a video from Valencia, but no promises.